Did you know that a single war in the Middle East could change the entire global balance of power? Missiles flying across borders, military bases under attack, and some of the world's most powerful countries preparing for escalation. The conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States has been building for decades. But today, tensions have reached one of the most dangerous points in modern history. This isn't just another regional conflict. If this situation spirals out of control, it could impact global energy markets, international alliances, and possibly trigger a much larger war. So in this video, we're going to break down, because understanding this conflict might help us understand where the world is heading. Surprisingly, Iran and Israel were not always enemies. Before 1979, Iran was ruled by a pro-Western monarchy under the Shah. During this period, Iran actually maintained diplomatic and economic ties with Israel, but everything changed after the Iranian Revolution. The revolution replaced the monarchy with an Islamic government led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. The new government took a completely different stance toward global politics. Iran strongly opposed both Israel and the United States, accusing them of dominating the Middle East. Since then, Iran has supported several groups that oppose Israel, including Israel sees these groups as major security threats. Over the years, tensions grew through cyber attacks, assassinations, sabotage, and proxy wars across the region. But the biggest source of tension came from one issue: Iran's nuclear program. For decades, Iran has insisted that its nuclear program is for peaceful energy purposes, but Israel and many Western countries believe Iran may be secretly developing nuclear weapons. If Iran ever obtained nuclear weapons, it would drastically change the balance of power in the Middle East. Israel has repeatedly warned that it will never allow Iran to become a nuclear-armed state. In 2015, a major international agreement known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was signed. This deal involved Iran and several world powers, including, under this agreement, Iran agreed to limit its nuclear activities in exchange for relief from economic sanctions. However, in 2018, the Donald Trump administration withdrew from the deal. After that, tensions escalated again. Iran gradually expanded parts of its nuclear program. Israel became increasingly concerned that time was running out. Long before open conflict, Iran and Israel were already fighting what analysts called a shadow war. This included cyber warfare, sabotage of nuclear facilities, targeted assassinations of scientists and military figures. One of the most dramatic incidents was the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, a powerful Iranian general. He was killed in a U.S. drone strike ordered by the United States in 2020. Iran responded with missile attacks on American bases in Iraq. This incident showed how quickly tensions could escalate into direct military confrontation. Since then, both sides have continued preparing for a possible larger war. The United States has been one of Israel's closest allies for decades. This relationship includes: one reason for this alliance is shared strategic interests in the Middle East. Another reason is Israel's position as a strong military and technological power in the region. Because of this alliance, any large conflict between Israel and Iran almost automatically draws the United States into the situation. Iran views this partnership as part of a broader effort to contain its influence in the Middle East. So when tensions rise between Israel and Iran, the United States often becomes directly involved. One reason the world is so concerned about this conflict is energy. The Middle East controls a huge portion of global oil supply. One of the most important locations is the Strait of Hormuz. Nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow waterway. If war disrupts shipping in this area, global oil prices could skyrocket. That would affect everything from transportation to food prices around the world. This is why countries far outside the region are watching the situation very closely. The biggest fear among global leaders is escalation. If the conflict expands, several dangerous scenarios could happen: more countries joining the conflict, regional militias launching attacks across borders, major shipping routes being blocked, or cyber warfare targeting global infrastructure. Some analysts warn that a large regional war could involve multiple powers and destabilize the entire Middle East. The conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States is not just about politics or territory. It's about power, security, and the future balance of influence in the Middle East. For decades, tensions have been building. Now the world is watching closely to see whether diplomacy can prevent a much larger war. Because if this conflict continues to escalate, Its consequences could be felt far beyond the Middle East. And the real question is this just another geopolitical crisis, or the beginning of a much bigger global confrontation? What do you think? Let me know in the comments.